1785 101. All of those looking A-OK for right now. But if you do see something, be sure to give us a call at 475-1080. Coming up next on your favorite radio station, it's time for Selling the 831.
Good afternoon. Welcome to our show, Selling the 831. This is a real estate talk show. We are broadcasting live from KSCO 1080 AM in Santa Cruz, California. I am your host, Monica Wason, and today is episode 7. So I'm going to apologize in advance if I clear my throat or cough. I'm just getting over a little cold. So that's why I'm a little nasally also. So so there you go. The whole point of this show is to help sellers sell and buyers buy. And by doing that, trying to help you have a better understanding of today's real estate market. So today I am wanting the calls to dictate the show. If you have a real estate question, call me here at the station at 831-479-1080, and I'll answer it the best I can. If this is your first time tuning in, I'm an active realtor with a broker's license. I'm the owner and broker on record for M Square Realty Group. M Square is a boutique brokerage, meaning we are not associated with any umbrella brand or franchise. Because M Square is self-originating, it gives me creative freedom in messaging, which allows me to be here speaking with you. And I'll be hosting this show every Thursday from 2 to 3 p.m. If you want to look me up, my website is sellingthe831.com. No spaces, just type it in like it's all one word. Sellingthe831.com. And you can also Google me, Monica Wason. Wason is with one S, and you'll get a variety of hits. But before I get to my stats, I wanted to throw this out there. How do you feel about realtors door knocking on your door to introduce themselves? Before I came to the station, I was on a listing appointment where the seller had contacted me about 8 months ago. They were saying, they knew they were going to move. They were moving out of state, that they wanted to sell. And, so I told them my thoughts on their property. And of course, the entire 8 months, they're telling their neighbors that they'll be moving and selling the house soon. And so those neighbors tell people, and eventually all the realtors hear about it. And he just said for like 8 months straight, almost every weekend, or even during the week, our realtors were just knocking on the door. And I asked him, what did he think about it? And he thought it was odd. And he wasn't sure like how the word got out that he was selling his house. And I certainly didn't tell him. And even when he talked to me 8 months ago, we never signed a listing agreement or anything. So I'm glad that he stuck with me. But I'm just curious if anyone out there can tell me, because is it welcomed or is this an outdated strategy? I have Dave Michaels here with me today.
Hey, Monica, how are you?
Good. Bill is out.
He is out, but he's fine. He's healthy. He will be back for next week's show. I think he's going to be in here tomorrow, but he's out today.
Okay. Well, you tell me, Dave, has anyone ever knocked on your door, a realtor?
No, actually, I live in an apartment, so they wouldn't go knocking on my door.
They might, Because they might say, hey, you're paying all this rent. Why don't you buy or something like that? But what would you think? Like if somebody did that, isn't that weird?
First of all, I would think it was probably the Jehovah's Witnesses. That's what I would think, first of all. And then once they told me they were a real estate agent, I would say, well, you'd have to speak with somebody else because it is so expensive right now, Monica. There is just no way I'm going to be able to afford a house right now. But, something I often think about is how would I avoid, because I live in kind of a noisy neighborhood, and I think, oh, my God, I can't imagine buying a house in this neighborhood and being stuck with these guys as neighbors. Holy cow, I'm not talking about myself, but my neighbors, I would say if a real estate agent came knocking on my door, I would tell him, go talk to those guys and see if you can get them out of that house. Go sell them a house. Get them out of here. How do you, if I was going to buy a house, how do you do research to find out how that neighborhood really is? Because I'm assuming that if I drive by and go to check out a house, they're going to make it look nice and appear nice. How do I make sure that about things like that?
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah. So like, let's say you're telling me, oh, I want to buy a house. I want to buy a house in this neighborhood. Can you scout it out for me? I mean, I can pretty much do what you could do, right? I could drive around. I could see. I could, maybe try to talk to a neighbor. But even that, I think, is kind of weird, too, because everyone's going to say, like, oh, this is the best,
Right.
But what we do is, let's say you find a house. And you're really, you're serious. You're like, okay, I want this house. But there is this period of time where you get an accepted offer until you close, that we have these, what we call like inspection or contingency periods. And in this period of time is where we really can find out not just about the property, but the surrounding part of the property through disclosures. So let's say through disclosures, we find out there's a daycare center that's like the right next door. Like your next door neighbor runs a daycare, and let's say you have to sleep in the day, and then we hear like all these, babies yelling all day long. Then that's something we could tell you, and you're like, oh, heck no, this is a deal breaker.
Oh, I love the sound of kids playing. That sounds great to me, but yeah, I understand.
Yes, right? Or, it could be anything that you're in this flight path, and all of a sudden, there's an airport that they just flying right over you constantly, and it's a nuisance. Anything like that, we can find out during escrow, and then you decide, no, that's a deal breaker. We can pull out. You get your deposit back. There's no loss on your end. That's so
nice.
You don't have to know all of those things up front.
That's good to know. That is good to know.
Yes.
I'm assuming that you that you help people buy and sell houses.
Yes.
It seems more likely that people around here are selling their houses, but for every house that's sold, that means somebody bought it. What are some tips for people who are looking to sell their house? Is it still a good time to sell? I mean,
I'm going to get to that. But the short answer is it's always a good time to sell. It's just hard for those sellers. Where are they going? So a lot of people right now are cashing out. They're selling. They're moving out of state. The listing that I said I went to just before here, they are moving to Arizona, to Yuma. So if it's a seller looking to sell their home and move somewhat in the same area, they're just looking to upsize or downsize. It is hard for those people because there's not a lot of inventory in the market right now. So it's almost like, where would they go? And I do have a few of my clients that are in that situation. They're what's called rate locked, where they are currently in their house at a low mortgage, but if they go to sell it and move into something else, now they're going to get this crazy high rate because rates are a lot higher than what they're currently in. So they're just saying, you know what, it's a bad time to sell. So it just depends on the reason. If they're moving out of state, perfect, they can sell and no harm there. But it's if the ones that are trying to sell and move into something else, pretty much in the same area, that's difficult.
So back to your question, what would I do if a real estate agent came to my door? I would ask, how much money do I have to have as a down payment? Since you're here, I don't know what you're doing here, Mr. Real Estate Agent, but since you are here, how much do I need to get out of this neighborhood? How much money do I need to put down on a house? And what is the median house price?
Right. So that's a whole nother conversation that I'd be like,
I'd be like, well, you knocked on my door.
I'm sorry
I was
knocked
playing
on
video
this
games. Right?
I'd be like, here's a Starbucks card for your time.
Yeah, I was just sitting there playing video games, and you came knocking up on the door.
Okay. Professional Monica would say, you know what? Let me have a lender give you a call if you're interested, or let me give you his info, or something like that.
Uh-huh.
But it would all depend on what you're pre-qualified for, what's your credit, what's your income. But it would be probably on the low end 3% down.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's not that much.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of people think you need like 20% right off the bat.
That's what I always thought was 20%.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
That's pretty nice.
Okay. Thanks, Dave.
You got it. Sorry
Anyone else? I want to hear some thoughts. What do you think of door knocking? Because I got to know. As for realtors, we're thinking this is a great way, right, to communicate with someone face to face. We'll knock on your door and say things like, oh, a house in this neighborhood just sold for X amount of dollars. Would you be interested in a free valuation of your home? And as I mentioned, I have mixed feelings about the door knocking. I personally do not like people knocking on my door. I'm more of a, you'll get a door in your face before you get a foot in the door kind of girl, but that's just me. But as a realtor, if anyone did that to me, if anyone shut the door in my face, I'd feel totally rejected and bad. So someone call me and tell me your thoughts on this sales tactic. I have agents in my brokerage, and they, some are all about the door knocking and some are very hesitant. And I'm always telling them, do it. You should door knock, but I think you should do it if it's your neighborhood. If you live in that neighborhood and you know people. And, I always say, if you have a dog, walk your dog, let people see you, they recognize you. And then you say like, hey, I don't know if we've ever spoken before, if I can introduce myself, but I'm your neighbor. I'm also a realtor. And then just kind of start the conversation. But to knock or not to knock, that is the question. Give me your thoughts. 831-479-1080. Okay, I have a caller. Let me get this. Hi, is this Keith?
This is Keith. Hi, Monica.
Hi, Keith. How are you?
I'm doing great. Hey, I was just laughing about what you said about knocking on doors because my mom, we share a property that's been in the family for a long time in Seabright. And I remember her coming to me saying, oh, Keith, you won't believe what happened. These people actually came to my door, and she was so excited. She was so proud of herself. Well, that lasted about 6 months.
What?
And then she's like, I keep getting these flyers in the mail. They want to buy our house. I get it. It's great.
So how did she respond, though? Did she, so a realtor comes, knocks on the door, and she was loving it? She was all having a conversation or... Oh, yeah. Well,
my mom will talk forever. Yeah, she thought it was just fantastic. But after a while, it did wear her down. And,
Yeah.
at the end, she got over it. So I understand what you're saying about it. It's a little tacky, but it was pretty funny to see her reaction. I think that might get a few people boosted up, but who knows?
But you know what? Your mom is obviously, older. And I think that generation, they're used to it, right? They probably were used to people doing the door-to-door salesman. Do you want to buy a vacuum cleaner? Do you want to buy a sewing machine? And hey, do you want to sell your house? It's probably just...
Oh, yeah. We did our share of door-to-door stuff, too. And it gets pretty funny after a while because as time goes on, people really have less and less interest in face-to-face contact, which is not only sad commentary on a society, but also also commentary on how it's overworked.
Yeah. You know what? I sold my dad's house, and I know there was this realtor that was really bummed because I think he was working my dad for years. He would, I think, stalk him even, probably like, and would just, my dad would be sitting on the porch and he would go and introduce himself and talk and talk and talk. And then when I sold the house, I had the open house, and yeah, I think that realtor was a little bit upset. That, hey, it's how
Hey,
it goes.
you mentioned that there was some people moving out of the area because of prices. Now, let me know if anybody is into Missouri, because I told you about that house I got there. And if anyone wants to move to Missouri, I got a house brand new. I'll fit it out.
It's still for sale, Keith?
Well, it's been like ice cold there for the last 3 months, so nobody's even looking.
Okay. All right. I'm like even writing this down. So Missouri home, Keith. If
Okay,
anyone
hey,
calls.
I've been doing my due diligence, and I heard you last week mention, I think it was last week, that you have a contractor coming on the air, and you plan to ask him about ADUs.
Yes, correct.
Is that me? Because I'm getting buffing up on it right now.
That's all you. That's next week, right?
Is that next week?
I think so. I think that's when we have it.
Oh boy! All right, I'll do all the. I'll be there. I'll be ready, and I'll have my information at hand.
Okay, great. Yeah, because we did have a caller. She said something about wanting to do a refi because she wanted to build an ADU. She wants to live in the ADU. And then I said, yes, we're having someone come in a few weeks. And yes, that's you.
Yeah, that caught my attention.
Okay, good. So so I will give you a call before next week, and then we'll strategize a little.
Fantastic. Have a great show.
Thanks, Keith. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, I'm going to take our next caller. Hi, is this Christina?
Christina Cervantes.
Hi,
Monica.
Christina. How are you?
Good. I'm driving. Let me know if it's a little staticky, if I need to put my volume down.
Yeah, I would say put your volume down.
I'll bring the volume down.
On your radio.
Can you hear me?
Yes. How's it going?
I wanted to share.
Oh, I think we're having a bad connection.
You can hear me now.
Okay, yeah, I hear you now.
Oh, okay. So, like Monica mentioned, some of us at the brokerage, we door as much as others. And I was door knocking in an area where I had a listing coming up. And I was just kind of leaving flyers. I wasn't really necessarily door knocking, just kind of dropping off flyers at the door with information on the newest listing on the block. And I saw this front porch that had a bunch of like, caution, huge Great Dane, don't enter, or knock if you like big ass dogs. But I was like on a doormat, and I was like, okay. I was like, I have a Great Dane, so sometimes we kind of, they're gentle giants, so we kind of like when people do door knock in my house, I kind of act like, oh, my dog's crazy, I can't talk right now, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna door knock on this house, and the lady answered, and she was like, "This better be good," because her Great Dane, she had two Great Danes. They started kind of going crazy, barking, and I thought it was kind of funny because she sounded upset, and I was like, okay, this is either gonna be really good or really bad, and when she opened the door, she was like, "So what's this about?" And I was like, "Oh, I was gonna start by telling her I have a new listing, a few doors down, but I was a little scared, so I told her I have a Great Dane, and I'm selling the house, a few doors down." And then she was like, "Oh, you do?" And she was like, "What color?" And I was like, blue, because I have a blue, which is great, but the color is blue.
Yeah.
And she was was like, well, show me a picture. Like, she was kind of like testing me if I was telling the truth. And
Oh my gosh.
it was pretty funny. And then, long story short, like, I showed her a picture where we like chatted for like 10 minutes. She brought her dogs out, and it was nice. It was nice to meet another Great Dane owner, because there's not a lot, especially around Salinas. So
Did you guys
that was
ever
cool.
get to talk about the listing, or was it all about the Great Danes?
Well, I ended up giving her the flyer. She took it because at first she was like, "Leave the flyer at the door, on the floor." And then when we started talking about the Great Danes, I picked up the flyer and I was like, "Oh, I'm selling the house a few doors down." And she was like, "Okay." I mean, we kind of kept it Great Dane talk, but she has my information, and so maybe next time I'll door knock with my Great Dane, and maybe we could have a little
Yeah, a little
doggy date.
I love it. I love it. Hey, but see, that's a great way to meet people. But I bet you if you didn't have a Great Dane and you were brave and knocked on that door, I have a feeling that would have been bad.
Yeah, I don't think she would appreciate it. Yeah.
No. Okay, well,
Everything changed as soon as I told her I was another Great Dane owner.
I love it. I love it. Oh, thank you for calling.
No, of course, Monica.
Oh, hey, so wait, before you go, tell us about your Moss Landing listing, because I do want people to hear that again.
Oh, yeah, so I'm going to be one of the agents will be having an open house tomorrow, Friday, from 4 to 6 p.m., so a twilight open house. And then there'll be an open house on Saturday as well, from 11 to 2. And this will be at my Moss Landing listing at 8504 Laguna Place.
8504 Laguna Place, Moss Landing. It's in that neighborhood behind that little red cafe in Moss Landing, and it has a spectacular view. If anyone just wants to go, just to go and say hi, just go check out this open house. It's just nice just to sit on the deck. I hope it's going to be good weather though. I haven't checked the weather for this weekend.
It's not going to rain on Saturday. Friday maybe on and off. But hopefully we get a good turnout. Like Monica said, it's a beautiful home. There's only 6 homes that have the view overlooking the Old Salinas River and the sand dunes. So yeah, come check it out. So tomorrow from 4 to 6. And Saturday is actually from 11 to 1.
Okay, perfect. Okay, Christina, thank you. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, so I just want to thank our sponsor, Lighthouse Door Company. They are a local garage door business that specializes in custom garage doors and installations. And if you want to tell me about any door knocking experience that you might have had, call me at 831-479-1080, and I'll be back after this commercial break.
What's that? You say you can't get it up? Oh, it goes up and you can't get it down? It only goes halfway up? Okay, we are talking about your garage door, right? Well, you called the right place. I'm Eric. Me and my crew at Lighthouse Door Company, we specialize in garage door repair and all types of garage door and opener installations. We've proudly served the Monterey and the Santa Cruz area since 2005. From basic metal garage doors to custom wood garage doors, we do it all, and we do it at a fair price. And if you mention KSCO, we'll even give you a 10% discount. You can call or text 831-655-1419. We look forward to working with you. 831-655-1419. Call or text Lighthouse Door Company 831-655-1419. We look forward to working with you.
Give me a ticket for an aeroplane. Ain't got time to take a fast train.
Okay, we're back. And since you're listening to Selling the 831, It's close to the end of February, so let's see what's sold so far this month. As far as Santa Cruz County, 11 homes sold since my last report to you last week. So that brings us to a total of 35 homes sold since the beginning of February in all Santa Cruz County. 27 of those homes sold for less than the initial asking price, but I did see that 6 sold for over asking. 19 homes sold in this past week for Monterey County. So since the beginning of February, a total of 65 homes sold this month. 35 of those homes sold for less than the original asking price. However, 21 sold for over asking. And lastly, I did San Benito County. 8 sold since my last report to you last week, bringing it to a total of 19 homes since the beginning of February. And 11 of those homes sold for less than asking, and 6 sold for over asking. So again, same as last week, the market is moving, and congratulations to all involved with those transactions. If you have anything to add, give me a call at 831-479-1080. And I'm going to take a call right now from Tyson in Felton. Give me 1 second, Tyson. Hi, Tyson. Are you there?
Hi, Monica.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Good, thanks. Are you calling to tell me what your thoughts on door knocking?
Yeah, I say knock those doors. I feel like people at this day and age are sort of starved for social interaction anyway. And if you can get face-to-face with a potential customer, I feel like that's the best form of marketing. Even if you get a no or a door slammed in your face, you're going to get some yeses in there. And I think it's a great idea. You're going to have some good conversations with people and meet potential clients. I think it's valuable.
Have you ever experienced a realtor knocking on your door?
Yeah, and you know what? I remember him. When I think of realtors, I think of him first. There was a realtor. He was young. He was a go-getter. He came and talked to us when he had a listing at our condo right next to us in Scotts Valley. Mm-hmm. And my wife and I still talk about that guy to this day, and he's doing really, really well now.
Oh, see, that's good. Okay,
Yeah.
So that's promising then, right? I mean, I don't know. I just feel like it's maybe for women too, it's a little bit different because we don't know whose door we're knocking on. And, last thing we want is one of those, like, it puts the lotion on its skin situations.
I hear what you're saying. That's a really good import. You have to make sure you're safe, obviously, but I think if you're comfortable with the neighborhood, especially if, like you said, if it's your own neighborhood, you may even know a lot of these people. It's definitely not going to hurt. I think it's a really good use of your time if you're an agent, especially if you're just getting started.
True. So Tyson, tell me, what do you do?
I'm a home inspector and a general contractor.
And how is the home inspecting business going?
It's going well. We had a little bit of a slower winter, I feel like, but I feel there's a little bit of pent-up energy, especially for buyers, and things are really starting to pick up. I think end of February is kind of when the spring market sort of kicks into gear for us in this area, so it's happening right now, and it's looking like a pretty good first half of the year, I'm hoping.
That's good. So from the homes that have recently sold, you're saying that the buyers are hiring you to do the home inspections? Or do you find it's more the selling side is asking you to do the home inspection for when they're getting ready to list the property?
Yeah, I mean, over the past, I'd say half a dozen years or so, the trend has become, the sellers are doing pre-listing inspections. And so I'd say 80% of my business was listings over the last 3 or 4 years. And there's a little bit of a shift happening. I've gotten way more buyers recently, which is, those are the people that I really like to work for. I like all my clients, obviously, but I love helping buyers make decisions. And give them as much information about the house they're about to spend a lot of money on, you know. So I'm liking the trend of sort of balancing it back out. It's about 50-50 again, buyers versus sellers as far as my business goes.
Okay. Well, Tyson, thank you for calling. Let's give you a shout out. What's your home inspection business called?
Oh, I work for Buyers Protection Group. We go by BPG Inspections. Anybody can find us online at bpginspections.com, or you can call me 831-295-2259.
Perfect. And then we should do a show soon, Tyson.
I'm in.
Okay.
Anytime.
All right. Okay. Thanks for calling.
Thanks, Monica.
All right. Bye. Mhm. Okay. Next we have Linda in Hollister. Hi,
Hi,
Linda.
I really liked your show. Yes, I hosted a show years ago called Open House, and
Oh,
it was similar to your show, and had realtors call in with their listings and things of that nature. I guess I'm not far enough away from the radio because I'm getting feedback because I'm in another part of my store. So hold on just a second, and
okay.
I'll turn the radio off. I apologize. I went, Alexa, power off. Sorry about that. I was way down the hallway when I called.
Oh, no problem, no problem. So Linda, are you calling about the door knocking question?
Yes, I have a fun story to share with you. Hold on just a second. Did you tell Alexa off? Yeah. Oh, it's still with feedback. Hold on, I'm on air. Anyway, I was in real estate for years and years. I used to own a marketing company, and then my realtor clients would say, "Why aren't you doing real estate?" So that's what I transitioned because, anyway, I was sales manager for a Century 21 office, and one of our clients wanted me to show her property. And she was a very sweet lady who had inherited quite a bit of money, and she was looking to buy a house, but she wanted a specific area. She was a Jehovah's Witness lady, and she wanted to live in the community that she knocked on, that she called on with Jehovah's Witness.
Okay.
So I had appointments to show her some houses, and I already made the pre-appointments with the sellers. And as we were winding up the day, she says, there's this house that I really like. I'd love to see it. So I said, well, it had a for sale sign up front. And I said, well, gee, we don't have an appointment. And, I hate to do it. She said, oh, please. So I knock on the door, and the owner looks out. And I could see he was looking at us. And I said, Realtor. And he wouldn't come to the door. And then finally he opened the door, and he started yelling, geez, you people, you don't stop at nothing. You're not getting in my house. And I said, what are you talking about, sir? He said, I know you're Jehovah's Witness. I went, no, sir, here's my card. So he's screaming and yelling at us. And so finally I convinced him that I really was a viable realtor. Here's my card. What more can I do? So we get in the house, and then the lady looks around, and she goes, oh, no, this would never do. You're a smoker.
Oh, after all that.
So you know what? Door knocking can be fun.
Yeah.
But I'm in a little tamer business now. I'm the director of a nonprofit, and we actually help homeless people. So my husband is still a real estate broker with Lampy Realty and here in Hollister. But I tease that I now, I'm still providing dwelling, but it's mostly tents and trying to get people housing. So,
good for you, Linda. That's so nice. I mean, to go from selling homes to now helping homeless, right?
Well, we see the need, and we've helped a lot of people. Maybe not. Three of the people that we've helped that were homeless have actually become homeowners, which we're thankful for. But a lot of people, if it's a room or a cottage or sharing a house with someone or just getting motel vouchers like the last few days because it's so bitterly cold. And so it's important that we look at all aspects of housing and how we can help more people find a home to live in.
True. Oh, yes, I love it. Thank you so much for calling.
Well, I
No,
couldn't resist my story. That was the funniest one I had.
that's a good one. I recently I was showing a couple a home. This was a few months ago, and we were looking at a house that was for sale, and there was kind of like around the bend there was another home for sale, but it wasn't on our list to look at. And the sign was up, and the lady was the home owner. She was like watering her grass in the front yard, and you could just see that she was not expecting company. She was kind of like in her gardening clothes, and so my buyers, they were like, "Oh, look at that house," and I wonder what that is. And so I tried pulling it up online, and it didn't have any photos yet. It just had like just the front of the house, so we didn't know anything what the inside looked like. And I go, well, let's just go ask her. And I just remember that it was a husband and wife, and the husband was so embarrassed. He was like, "You're just gonna go up and ask her?" And I said, "Well, yeah. I mean, it has a sign." And luckily, so yeah, all three of us just kind of start walking her way. But right away, I did the same thing. I had my card, and I did feel a little awkward, like, "Oh, I know we're bothering you," and it was like a Saturday or a Sunday, and I just said, we were just happening to be looking at that house, and we want to look at yours. And she was kind of like, "I don't know, I think you should call my realtor. I think you should make an appointment." And so we were going to leave, and then for some reason, she just changed her mind, and she just said, "You know what, just come inside and look." And my buyers ended up buying that home. So it
Wow.
even worked out. Yeah. It wasn't
Good
really like a
job.
door knocking situation. It was just, at least she was already outside, or I probably wouldn't have done that.
Have you got time for one more hilarious
Yeah,
one?
let's do it.
Okay. Well, it was a really hot day, and I was knocking doors, and I had on kind of a pleated broom skirt, and I didn't see the sign that said "day sleeper" until after I'd rang the doorbell.
Oh.
And when I did, this man came to the door, and he was furious. He opened the door, and he was like, "Don't you read?" So he slammed the door, and when he slammed the door, he caught my skirt in the door. So there I'm standing with my skirt caught in the door, and I can't move, and I'm ringing the doorbell, and he's screaming at me, "Go away." And I said, "I can't." So he wouldn't come to the door. Fortunately, I had on an underslip. After a while, I unzipped the skirt, wiggled out the skirt, went next door, rang the doorbell, and the lady could not stop laughing. She was roaring in laughter. She goes, "It couldn't have happened to a better person than that guy," and everything. So she called. He answered the phone. He said, "What do you want?" She said, "Well, I think you better let the young lady's skirt out of your door, because you're going to have very difficult time explaining that to your wife when she gets home." So she went next door and helped me get my skirt.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. That's great. I like that story.
So I hope nothing like that happens, but I hope that doesn't encourage prospective realtors knocking on doors. But it can be a lot of fun, and you can meet some wonderful people, and every once in a while you're going to meet the unusual situation.
I think
So-
us
and I'm glad-
realtors need to like write a memoir book and little funny stories like this. This could be like a Netflix show or something.
Oh, instead of like, I've always thought, wouldn't it be fun if we had one, like when they do General Hospital or something? Wouldn't it be great if they had one on realtors?
Yeah.
That would be it. Well,
Don't-
keep up the good work, and thank you for including Hollister and San Benito County and by the way, just quick question, how do you get you just call in, like if we have a listing or we have a client looking for something, we just call your show, or how do you?
Sure, yeah, that's fine with me. Yeah, call in. It's selling the 831, so I welcome that. I want to help people find homes and sell homes, and yeah, if you have something out there and you want to give it a shout out, call.
Okay. Well, my husband is still a very good realtor here in town, and he does commercial and residential, and it's what keeps our outreach afloat. We truly do. The majority of the money that we earn now in real estate goes into funding our Hollister community outreach.
I love that. Yes.
Thanks. Well, it's good to give back.
Cause. Yes, for sure.
Okay. Well, have a blessed day.
You too, Linda. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Aw, Dave, that was so sweet, huh?
Those were cute stories. Those were adorable stories.
I love that. I wanted to tell her, I don't think women anymore wear slips. The skirts are too short now.
I don't know what a slip is, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so let's get back to my stats here. I know the weather was freezing today, but this past weekend it was really nice and there was a lot of open houses. So just for some numbers, 12 open houses in Salinas, 7 in Monterey, and 19 in Santa Cruz. I'm wondering, did anyone listening go to any of those open houses this weekend? I'd kind of like to hear what you thought of some. I personally, before I became a realtor, I liked going to open houses just for like decorating ideas, or if it was somewhere in my neighborhood, just of course, right, just out of curiosity to see what it is. But one of the listings that our brokerage had, Christina, she had called in last week and she was saying about it. It was in Salinas. It was open both Saturday and Sunday, just for a couple hours. And that one had nonstop flow, like from start to finish. And it was just so exciting. And I was so happy to see, buyers out shopping for homes. For this house in particular, I believe I know she had multiple offers. I'm not exactly sure how many. And I don't know, it's still active, so I probably shouldn't say, but, for confidentiality. But the sellers were extremely happy with the turnout. The marketing was great. Again, so Christina, who called about the Great Dane, that was her listing, Christina Cervantes. She did such a wonderful job. So I just want to put that out there that it's back to open house season. I remember when it was COVID and they just shut it down, and then it was like shut down for months, no open houses. And then they said, okay, you guys can start having open houses again, but it was with restrictions. So it was like so many people inside at a time. Everyone had to have a mask. Everything had to be wiped down, which is still good practice. But I feel like it's taken a long time for buyers to come out and feel safe again going to open houses. And even when they started it back up, even with the restrictions, it wasn't the same. It was kind of like they would dwindle in unless it was what was called like a hot home. But so that was just really, really nice to see. I know we're getting a call right now, and then so while Dave's getting that, I'm gonna just say one more stat that I have. So as far as listings, from January 1st to yesterday, which was February 22nd, in the city of Santa Cruz, so not the whole county, just Santa Cruz itself. So from year to date, 57 single family homes were listed on the market. So that same period of last year, 2022, was 65. So 57 now compared to 65 last year. So that's saying that there's, it's showing that the sellers aren't so eager to sell right now. And that is because of the way the interest rates are for the buyers. It's being a little harder to sell homes. Okay, I am going to take another call. Give me 1 second here. Hi, is this Marco in Santa Cruz?
This is Marco in Santa Cruz. I'm always enjoying the show, Monica. Thank you.
Hey, Marco. I missed you last week. I didn't get a phone call from you.
Yeah, well, I was driving over Highway 17, so yeah, I missed you.
So,
in any event, I have a question.
Okay.
Are stainless steel appliances still what buyers want to see in the kitchen?
I don't know if it's necessarily stainless steel, but they definitely want to see the upgraded appliances. So I know refrigerators, if it's just like the one door, it's kind of like it gets the like people want to see the double, the double refrigerator doors.
Uh-huh.
And then I don't think they necessarily one way or another if it's stainless steel or the white, because I know the white still looks really modern.
hmm
But as long as they match,
Right.
right?
Okay. So currently mine don't. So as they die and I replace them, I'm replacing them with stainless steel. But at the moment, yeah, it's a mismatch.
Right.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah, okay.
I think as long
All
as they
right.
match. Hey, Marco, what do you think about door knocking? If a realtor knocks on your door, seeing if you're ready to sell, how do you feel about that
Well,
tactic?
um, it wouldn't be my choice to have happen, and I do get at least one phone call and one postcard a week for people wanting to buy our snowbird house in Arizona. So, if someone wants to get a hold of me, I think probably a postcard or calling me would be more acceptable to me than having someone just knock on my door.
Right? Okay. Yeah. I'm taking a
Yeah,
poll here.
yeah, yeah. But I have to say, I could be the only person I've ever met who doesn't mind when the Jehovah's Witnesses come by. And I actually talk to them, and I've made friends with a couple of them, and they're shocked that I don't chase them away. But anyway, so thanks for a great show.
Okay,
And
Marco, thank you for listening, continuing to listen, and to call in. Thank you so much.
absolutely. All right,
Okay.
man.
Have
Goodbye.
a good day. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
That's always fun. All right, before I run out of time, let me cut to one more commercial break and we'll be right back.
What's that? You say you can't get it up? Oh, it goes up and you can't get it down? It only goes halfway up? Okay, we are talking about your garage door, right? Well, you called the right place. I'm Eric. Me and my crew at Lighthouse Door Company, we specialize in garage door repair and all types of garage door and opener installations. We've proudly served the Monterey and the Santa Cruz area since 2005. From basic metal garage doors to custom wood garage doors, we do it all, and we do it at a fair price. And if you mention KSCO, we'll even give you a 10% discount. You can call or text 831-655-1419. We look forward to working with you. 831-655-1419. Call or text Lighthouse Door Company 831-655-1419. We look forward to working with you.
So before Marco called, I was saying how there's less inventory on the market right now, and it's not just in our area; it's nationwide. And I read this article that it was a report, I guess, from the Federal Housing Finance Agency, the FHFA. The average interest rate for current homeowners is less than 4%. So, current homeowners with a mortgage are paying less than 4% interest. But today, the typical mortgage rate to buyers is over 6%. And this is a stat also from the FHFA. So, because of this, as I was mentioning earlier, homeowners are opting to stay put and not sell instead of moving to another home with a higher borrowing cost. So this is what I was saying when I was saying people are feeling rate locked. Their only option really is to just stay in their home. So low inventory could be because sellers are just holding back putting their house on the market because they will need to buy another home to live in. So if they are thinking, I want to sell, but because, my kids are out of the home, I want to downgrade, that they're just not able to. And I actually have a client, and I just feel so bad. So if she's listening, she has been wanting to sell her home just because it's too much house, and it's a big house, but right now she couldn't even sell it because what her mortgage is right now, if she were to just buy a condo, it would be like double of what she's paying now as for her home mortgage. And I have another client who was telling me that, is there anything I could do to get my mortgage down? He purchased his home almost 2 years ago, and he's in the same position. He has great equity, but still he can't do that refi because they'll put him into another mortgage with a way higher interest rate. So right now it's just, times are tough and people are having to make these hard decisions, but hopefully mortgage rates will start to come down this year. And if so, we should expect more homes to get on the market, more buyers to buy, and then hopefully everything just works out. I always say, #Monica's World, things just happen to work out, and that's just how it goes. But it looks like my time is almost up. We did pretty good, Dave.
You did good, Monica. You did fantastic. You were nervous that you were going to need help, but you did a fantastic job. Fantastic.
Thank you. Even though I had to pause my mic to do my little
well,
coughing breaks.
That's the way it's done.
Hey, that's how we do it. So I want to thank you for listening to Selling the 831. Thank you to Lighthouse Door Company for continuing to sponsor the show. Tune in every Thursday from 2 to 3 p.m. If you don't want to wait until next Thursday and you need some real estate advice, my cell phone is 831-241-1236. And if you want to listen to this broadcast again, you could catch it on the KSCO app, which you can download for free on KSCO.com. I also was able to put it on my website, so sellingthe831.com. Again, all one word. And okay, this is Monica Wason, your realtor. I'm signing off until next Thursday.
Garage door open. Betty, I don't feel good. Come on, yo, garage door, you never feel good. Betty, call someone. I don't feel good. Okay, I'm calling Lighthouse Door Company. My garage door is sick. Okay, well, we're here to help. Let's see this old door. Okay, I think that's all it needed. Just a little bit of service. Call us anytime, Lighthouse Door Company. We repair garage doors, we install new garage doors, and we do it all at a fair price. We've been serving the Monterey and Santa Cruz County since 2005. Lighthouse Door Company. Call us, 831-655-1419. Lighthouse Door Company, 831